Today we're going to talk about cycle versioning. And just to kickstart our topic, I want to go into the benefits of using version control, or we calling it cycle versioning. I believe every developer or even marketer or content author, versioning is very important. And the benefit is you can actually have one single source of truth across the whole team or even the whole organizations when you're looking at your content, your website. You always want to have something to refer back to, or you want to check it against some new content. So that's the first benefit. The second one is cycle versioning help you to trace back any content you had in the past, and or even like some kinds of like old topic that you want to bring up. And because Sitecore have a very strong versioning system that help you to trace back, and you know where to go to, what time that content was published, how that content was created, and what is the number or even the language of that version. And the third uh, the third benefit here is also help you guys to get the information go to another team very very quickly. You can just tell your new teammate, okay, let's prefer to version 5 of this page, prefer to version 6, or I mean 16 of another media item. So that a very very good tool for everyone to use. And I mean, this is also a lesson learned from us when we work with a lot of clients. Some of them actually don't use versioning. They just create new content. They just create content that like over or override the current content, and that causing them a lot of issues that they didn't find out until we actually jump in and show them, oh, this is what you are missing in your process. And in Cycle, we have two different versions, different types of versions. The first one is a numbered versions, and the second one is language versions. I'm going to show you guys right here. We have the Cycle Launchpad, and let's go to the content editor. So as you can see, this is my homepage, and if I navigate to the version ribbon, you see here it have two different sections right here. The first one is the versions, and second one is language. So the first section is the number versions, and here you can control the version of your content by numbers. So you can see here I only have one versions right here, version number 1, modified on May 14, 2020 at 2:32 p.m. and by who? And admin is which is me, the one I'm using for demonstration purpose. And the second type of version is the language. So Sitecore support multi-language website and multi-language pages. And in my instance right here, you can see I have French versions. Of course, we're in Canada. We have two different language. Uh, and the second one is English. And I also have the third one. And this is basically just depends on what is your instant and what is your target audience. If you have client from Mexico, then you may have like Mexican. If you have client from like Asian country, you may have maybe Chinese or any types of languages right here. And if you can see, this is the content editor. And the second way to view them in the experience editor, I will go to experience editor right now. Okay, so in Experience Editor, you also have the same ribbon versions. So here, the ribbon is a little bit different, but they also have the version section and the language sections. In here, you can also choose how to, like change the page to another, let's say a language version by click on this button, and it will show you the list of versions that you have for this content item. And the second way to do it is if you want to go to the number version is to click on here. It will show you, of course, the list of versions that you have for this content item with the same details you have: date, time, and by who. Okay. And okay, so this is how you see the version. And I would come back to the content editor. And as you can see here in the version, the third way you can actually view the version is if it's in a content editor, right? And you don't want to use as ribbon for some reason, you can always go to the right side of your screen, and you see here we have a number and the language. So if you click on here, you also see the same view. You have the English, Japanese, and French. And the second way is, click on the number. You will see the number versions of the content item. Okay, now let's start with creating a version for your content item. And as you can see, we have the same view amongst all the other places to view the current versions. I will just do it for one, and you guys can do it any other ways. They will just give you the same view. And here, number one, if you want to create a second version, you can just click on it, and there's an add version at the bottom of this model. Click on that, and it gives you the second versions right away. And as you can see, it right away it captured the date and the time of your of the version that you created. Um, and what you can do right now is you just need to like change the content of that version, title, content. You can change the page design and any fields or any section that you see in version 1, it will be available for you in version 2. And of course that the content can be pre-auto populated by what you have in your standard value. So let's say in the version 2, instead of like calling it habitat home, I will just add in one more information, which is demonstration. Okay, click save. And of course that, okay, this is not, okay. So now we can view it, and you can click on Experience Editor to review the second versions. Okay, so you can see right here we have a different title, Habitat Home Demonstration. And how we can actually go back to this first version is we also click on this version ribbon, and you can click on this version number, which is now saying 2. You can just click on 1 and it will bring you back to version 1 of the same content item. Okay. And of course, we can actually add more right here with the add button. If you click here, it will just create a new version, which is version 3, because um, it will just continue the number from what we got. So we hit 2 here, and because I clicked the second time, it's created version 3. And the things that I want to note to everyone here is when we are in version 1 and we create a new version, then the next version with the uh, with the new number in the but that version, the new version will be based on the version that you are looking at that moment. So let's say I have 15 versions, but then if I go back to version 4 and then I create a new version, then the version number 17 will have the content and the layout of version 4, not the version 16. Okay. And of course, we can remove versions. So when you click on remove, it will ask you if you want to remove the current one or you want to remove all versions. This is a very, very rare case, but sometimes we may need to, like remove all versions. Okay, remove to set the current one. If we ask you to confirm, you click on OK, and then Sitecore will process and it will bring you to the newest versions. in the line, which is version 2. Okay. And Cycle also help us to compare the difference between versions as well. So when you click on compare, you will see that if you only have one, if it give you two different views, one columns and two columns. So if you views on one columns, what happens is Cycle will let you choose which version you want to compare. And here I'm choosing version 2 and version 1. So if you scroll through the comparisons board or even a model, you will see that the difference will be highlighted right here. And what happens if you have more than just one change and you want to keep track of that, you want to compare them? The second way to do is you can go to two columns, and from here, it will give you better view when showing you, the same fields on two different versions. This is version 2, this is version 1, and you see all the links, all the fields are the same, but the main difference is just the title because I already changed that, right? Um, and it's also highlight the 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 difference of two versions for you. Okay, this is a better way for you to view it. And then I would like to go to the language versions where you can see we have two different language, um, with three different language, but for the English language, we have two versions right here. It's also give you uh, the details of how many versions you have for that languages. So you can have 10 versions for Japanese, and you have like 20 versions for French. Instant, you can actually go to the content editor where you can also see the versions that you have for your page, and you just do the same thing more on languages, and then you can click on any language that you want to create, then click on OK. It gives you another language right here. And what happened is when you first create a new language version, it doesn't have any number versions. And what you need to do is you need to create only one versions just to generate the new content for that version. So Cycle will actually prompt you to do that right away. And you click on this add the new versions and just give it a second. It will generate the content. And as you can see, the content is pretty empty, and you can actually start typing in your new content. And after you type in, you can actually preview it. Okay, there's no content, but we have a blank page for us to start. And if you have the language switch ready developed in your website, you can actually click on it and you see the new language will show right away on it. Say Taiwanese. Okay. And let me see. And then, so when we go into this step, I actually have one more benefit that I can think of when you create a different version. When you can have different version inside core, you can actually test out the content or the layout of your page when you have a new version. So let's say you have the current version is version 3, and what happened is you have a new idea of adding one more CTA, or you have a new idea of changing the text of one of your CTA in your landing page, and you're just like struggling to decide which one is better. Then what you can do is you can create this when you have like three versions currently, you can create a version 4, and then you can make a new update for that versions, and then you can compare that version 2 and version 4 with the help of your audience using A/B testing inside Core, because Cycle allow you to, um, allow you to present